In this video, I shall be providing an update and show you what my hair looks like now. If you learned something or benefit from this video, please consider hitting like and subscribing to my channel. Let's dive into the update. Hi, I'm Dan and welcome back to my channel. 5 months ago, I had a hair transplant at Hair of Istanbul in Turkey, funnily enough, in Istanbul. In this video, I'm going to give you my 5-month update, but I'm going to go through each month, like one by one, and show you the different stages that my hair went through, because I know that people kind of find it a little bit scary, and in the age that we live in now, it's very easy to have a look on the internet and look at people who've had their hair transplant to see what stage they're at and compare. And also for those that are considering it, because it doesn't look overly pretty to start with, but it gradually gets better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through on my mobile the photos that I've sent to the clinic, and I'm going to share them around me in the pictures. So when I'm talking them through on my phone, you'll be able to see them too on the screen. So to start with, I'm going to go to talk about the operation, I guess, really. So it was 9 hours long in total. It took a while. So they spent 4 hours pulling my hairs out, and then there was about 2 hours where they were sticking the holes into my head, and then there was a further 3 hours where 3 people were reinserting the hairs that had been taken out that morning back into my head. Pain is the biggest question I always get asked. Was it painful? Not really. The initial pain was from when they put the injections in. So to start with, they inject around the back. So when they extract the hairs, you don't really feel it. It's quite a funny sensation because you know something's going on. You can hear the tool and you can kind of feel it a little bit, but you can't quite work out because your head's so numb whereabouts on your head they are pulling bits out of. And then for the second procedure, when they start injecting the holes into your head, they put injections along kind of like the top of your forehead and then work it back. So here's some photos of me on the operating table, looking very glamorous. It's not a very pretty angle that I'm at. And then obviously you have your operation and then they take you back to the hotel. You're told to keep your head elevated because some people get like a bit like an elephant kind of face where it all swells up if you don't keep your head elevated enough. So I was very, very rigid when I was walking around, and my first night, as you can see here, I kind of propped myself up fairly well on my pillows. So this is my pillow setup as well in this photo. And then, yeah, the second day I went to the clinic to have my bandages removed, which wasn't too painful. Obviously it was a bit like being waxed a little bit because there was tape all around my head, and when they pulled it off, yeah, it kind of felt like quite a relief, but there was quite a lot of gunge and liquid kind of came out of my head on the first night, and the bandage was there to catch it, and I had kind of like a puppy pad there to collect it. So after about a week or so getting home, the scabs started to appear. So this isn't very glamorous at all. You get yellow, like putty type scabs that form on your top of your head and they go a little bit crusty. So they start appearing probably after like 6-7 days, and then you work up to wash them off. So on the 10th or the 12th day, so on the 10th wash, you don't wash your hair properly, you kind of dab foam in, as in you'll see in this photo here, just spray foam on my head, and that was to kind of like heal the skin and give me a bit of a gentle wash. But yeah, you don't get your hands involved, you just use gentle cold water to wash it off. So yeah, the scabs formed and they gradually got crustier and crustier, and as you can see in this photo here, it's not very glamorous at all. It looks horrible. It was like yellow and scabby and crusty, yeah. So it wasn't great, but so yeah, just after about a week and a half after my operation, I scrubbed them off, and there's a video on my YouTube of the procedure when I took them off. So you can see here the scabs formed on top, quite yellow, and then when I washed the scabs off, you could kind of see it kind of looked quite good because it was like as if I had like a number 1 all over like a shave, and yeah, it's just small and lots of little dots, which is quite nice to see when you're going bald as bad as I was. So you can see here from a different angle, yeah, you can see all the hairs on top. They're very, very small. So after about 3 weeks, this photo, you can see that the sides have grown fairly well. I kind of had like the granddad emoji where you have like bushy hair sides and not much on top, but you can still see it's quite red on top of my head. But you've got to think I had quite a lot of punctures put into my head, and from the back it still looked quite patchy, but there was more hair than I'd had before my procedure. Here's one from the side. The donor area still looks a little bit patchy, but it doesn't look like that now, which is good. And again, you can still see it's quite patchy. So yeah, there's still a little bit of redness at the month point, and yeah, it didn't look very pretty at all. Kind of entering into that, they call it the ugly duck stage, where some of it grows in, some of it falls out. So yeah, it definitely looks a little bit silly. And then you can see here, so this is the, about 2 months after my procedure. Yeah, it was still quite bad. It didn't look great. And then if I quickly fast forward to the 3 month point, yeah, it was very, very patchy. And I've got to admit, at 3 months, I was quite worried because the donor area, as you can see here, is quite patchy. Obviously the back of my head as well. Maybe because I hadn't had a haircut for a little while, it looked worse. But yeah, you could kind of see it was coming through. But yeah, I was a little bit worried at this point. But then when I got to like month 4, you can definitely see the difference there. You can see that the donor area doesn't look as patchy as it looked before, and you can definitely start to see some like growth on top, and it's definitely starting to look thicker. So if we go into where I am now, so at month 5, I'll take my cap off and I'll show some pictures around the side about what it's like in a minute. So it's getting fairly long on top. Definitely a big step forward to where I was 5 months ago before I had the operation in Turkey. It's still quite thin, but I found this graphic that I'll put up here, which kind of shows the different stages of maturity that your hair's at the different points and at the different months. So I kind of feel, okay about that I know that it's still going through its process. And they said that you wouldn't see the full result until 12 months. It's still a little bit patchy on top. If I've been going out, I have been using hair fibres, but I'm told that over the next 2 months, I should definitely see it thickening up. But I'm fairly happy as it is for now, because compared to where I was, it is a lot better. So I'll do another update video in a couple of months. But as you can see, it didn't really start to ramp up until, I don't know, probably last month or so, where I've started to notice a real difference. Because at like month 3, I was a little bit worried, but I definitely feel a lot more confident in the procedure. And people say, trust the procedure and go with it. It's not an overnight fix, but gradually it gets better and better. So you can see now, and I'll share some more photos of the back and the sides so you can see how I'm getting on. And as for medication, I'm taking biotin, and I'm also using a spray, which I've listed all in the description for you. So if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, make sure you click like and hit subscribe to see my future videos. Take care.